the forest on fire. We don't need no water. Let the mother burn, mother, burn. Okay, so this is Miguel from the Embargo Man channel. So the Amazon forest, and this is about the Amazon forest fire, right? So it is on fire because I hear news that the Amazon rainforest or the Amazon jungle gets 20% of the world's oxygen just to prevent things and stuff. And now that I think what I heard in the news that the last week about people in Brazil are pulling out the forest fire. It is too late, right? And that is not just the Amazon forest does not just cover Brazil, it covers Bolivia, part of Colombia and stuff around the Amazon area, right? What we need to do is, the main thing is that probably here, I mean, this is the worst thing it is, because I will tell you what is going on. What is going on with this Amazon forest fire, Amazon rainforest fire, right? What happened is going to be similar. What I mean, it's going to be similar. It's going to be not going to be thank Michael Jackson for the Earth song, but thank Hollywood and Kevin Costner that there's a movie is out there, even though it tanked in the box office, but it's going to bring this reality, and it is called Waterworld. Thanks to Waterworld, that is going to be a reality. It's going to be a reality. After all, that 20% of the forest fires, 20% of the oxygen, all of that is like one thing to prevention of, like from the worst natural disasters and stuff. Now that the forest is on fire, now we're screwed. I mean, what it is, the idea is that you cannot blame capitalism, right? You can't blame capitalism. Blame the idiots behind capitalism to capitalize in something that might harm this earth, right? Some things of ideas you to capitalize in alternatives, like capitalize in like the idea of soiling. Well, the idea of soiling is based of gasoline based on soy-based gasoline, because it's called soyolene, right? Not gasoline, but soyolene, that you can put in the regular cars and stuff. That you don't need electric cars, that you just pump oil. You don't need electric cars. Instead of pumping oil for making gasoline, all you need is just do soy-based gasoline or soyolene. It's a really good idea, because you could still have your traditional automobiles, but you're gonna still use soy-based gasoline, like in soy-based diesel, or in other words, like another form of ethanol, right? Soyolene, right? So what it is that like a bunch of people was going on after the Amazon forest. That what's going on here, what we're living through is this. Even though people living in New York, people living in other places where there's no hurricane or typhoons or cyclones, whatever it is, Hurricane Dorian is going to make Hurricane Andrew look like a joke, right? The next hurricane is going to make Hurricane Andrew look like a joke. What's going to happen is that this. I don't know where I'm going to stay, but if you're watching this, I might be gone underwater, or I might be saying, alright, let's go somewhere where the hurricane is not going to hit because of the Amazon forest fire, right? What I need is to support. I mean, go and donate money to the UN or to any organization that is supporting, of taking out the fire of the Amazon forest, right? That way you prevent the worst hurricanes in history, all these worst natural disasters coming, the worst typhoons in history, the word whatever, that means that, yeah, the hurricane, like the whole world is gonna be underwater, right? What's going to happen is this, is that, I mean, if I were to be the president, I might just send troops to I'm just saying to all this world leaders, this is more important than two damn rocks. This is more important than some of you Japanese folks. I'm talking about worrying about those rocks than having the idea of plastering Joe Biden's face in the movie poster of Joe's apartment. Let me tell you about Joe's apartment, everybody. Joe's apartment is a movie about Joe who lives in New York in an apartment full of cockroaches, right? And then there's probably Korean folks are watching this, and and I understand this, but this is more important than that. All right, what it is this: if we can't not just help to take out the fire of the Amazon forest, we're gonna be Waterworld. We're going to be Waterworld. So, with your help, there's some world leaders doing kind of stupidity or something like that, and I will tell this. This is more like, what if, because of the Amazon forest fire, nobody is taking off, and then it's happened. What if Japan is underwater? Okay, for some folks it's, yeah, hooray, Japan is underwater. Look at that, because of the forest fire. Look, Japan is underwater because of typhoons, or because of a typhoon, or a tsunami. Now we call it that sea for the country that went underwater. Now let's call it East Sea because Japan is underwater. Oh well, and then you think to the great divine, and you say, oh, you will sing Kumbaya when Japan is underwater. Okay, what if you want to say if you learn something of a lesson, don't curse, alright? Don't curse on the others. What if you just praise their just because Japan is underwater because of the Amazon forest fire and everything else? What if the worst floods coming in Seoul, Korea? What if Busan becomes the Korean Venice, right? So you're saying, after that, you're saying, oh yeah, this is it. Kumbaya, Japan is underwater. No more Sea of Japan is East Sea now. Blah blah blah. Guess what? The jokes comes to you. The joke's on you. You're saying, oh my God, no, I heard the news. All right, news flash. Even if Korea is united, news flash. The whole country of Korea is underwater, and Busan is the Korean Venice, blah blah blah, whatever, right? What if that happens? All right, so okay, none of that. I don't want you. What I want you to do, anybody, without hating each other. What I want is for people to get along with each other and don't just fight over stupidity. This is more important. This is more important than two damn rocks, whatever you call it. Either Takashima or Dokdo or whatever, just put some money on the Amazon forest. If not, everything's gonna be gone. And we're gonna live in Waterworld. The whole world's gonna be underwater. Miami's gonna be underwater. That's one of these places that Florida's gonna be gone underwater. Like then Saudi Arabia gonna be underwater, and of course, what else you could do, right? You wanna see everything to be underwater, right? So the first thing is unity. Be united, because because united we I mean I forgot because divided because united we succeed, divided we fail, right? You know, that's it. That's what I want to do. That's what it is. Divided we fail. All right, that's right. That's what it is. That's is I mean that's it. I forgot what the theme is, but the United, because United we I mean divided we fail. And okay, I got a phone. It says united, divided we fail. Unite. Right, like or the thing is, united we stand, divided we fail. That's the main point of all this, because we need to stay united. Don't care wherever whatever it is, even people watching in the Holy Land, both parts of it. All right, so that's what it is. You just pour some money on the Amazon force. I mean, tell your world leaders, the whole world, even the United Nations could contribute of sending troops to take out the fire, right? So that's what we need to do, right? So we need to have the United Nations, the Secretary General has to like send troops to the parts where the Amazon forest is on fire. Could be in Bolivia, Colombia, parts around the Amazon area, right? So that's the first thing you gotta do. Second, you gotta invest in alternatives, right? We need to invest in soy-lean, soy-based gasoline, like, or like you still have your you could drive your muscle cars, you could drive your American muscle cars without polluting, right? That means that a soy-based gasoline, soy-based oil, and like instead of having oil-based gas and oil-based oil, whatever it is, soy-based fuels, right? Like they have soy-based diesel. Now like you need to invest soy-lean, soy-based gasoline. Even though electric cars is cool, but they have its pros and cons. Its pros on electric cars would mean that they're that it could contribute, and it would say lower emissions, but what would take them out the lithium and all this other stuff to make a battery, right? That's one thing you gotta look for, what it is about the electric cars. But soy-lean is a good idea. Solar panels, windmills, anything of alternative is a good choice. I mean, that's what it is. That's when you have to capitalize in alternatives. All right? Don't just blame capitalism, blame the idiots capitalize on things that could harm the environment. That's it, and that way you could stop these fires, and then you could stop all these other disasters, because otherwise you have the worst earthquakes. LA is gonna have to suffer the worst earthquake. But one thing is, if they do nothing on the Amazon fire, if the Amazon keeps on burning, so what will happen with that is that the Mississippi River goes crazy around Mississippi. All right, the Mississippi River might just turn Louisiana. Parts of Louisiana is gonna be drowned, and like it's gonna be like the Christmas Mississippi River. It's gonna be like crazy. Like like boom, everything wipe out. The Mississippi River is gonna be crazy because of the Amazon forest fire, right? polar bears and penguins are going to the fate of the dodo bird. Why? Because of the Amazon forest fire. Because it is part of 20% of the oxygen of the world, and you could get from hot air and cool air in between in the Amazon because of the trees. All right, so it needs the trees. And I think one thing also is to replant trees. I mean, to replant trees is something that you could do in the Amazon. Even in California, you gotta replant trees anywhere, but most importantly, the Amazon. So all the government, even in Colombia, former terrorists have planted trees in the Amazon. If former terrorists could plant trees in the replant trees in the Amazon, anybody could do the same thing too, right? So that's it. It is also, I mean, amazed. I mean, I would think to Project Nightfall, because it was saying about the Amazon forest fire, and then there's 20% of the oxygen, the Amazon jungle. I mean, the animals are at stake, not just in the Amazon, but natives too, in the Amazonian natives also are at risk, living in the Amazon forest fire. They losing their homes, right? I mean, if it's not them, it's gonna affect us, it's gonna affect everybody. So, I mean, put it this way, people in the Mideast, what if this country is underwater? I mean, the United States of America. What if it's underwater, alright? So yeah, you could say Allah Akbar and whatever it is, because of America's underwater, right? Allah Akbar, America's underwater, If what it is, boom, the Middle East is flooded. Parts of the Middle East, part of Saudi Arabia gonna have the worst floods. Parts of in Yemen, or in all these Middle Eastern countries, cheering up that America's underwater, and they're saying that God is great because America's underwater. Boom. The joke comes on you also, right? So that also is gonna be example of the Amazon forest fire. They're saying that, wow, Allah Akbar, because America's underwater, and then boom, you guys go underwater too, right? And that's the reason about you have to contribute to take out the fire also, because we are all have to live in peace, right? Peace. What we want is peace, not stupidity, not like fighting over two lands, not over two damn rocks, not fighting whatever. World, just take a stand with this. Take a stand about this. The Amazon forest fire, is terrorizing America. That's why we're getting all these hurricanes they're gonna turn Hurricane Andrew into a joke. The worst earthquake in Los Angeles in history. Worse than Kobe, Japan, or something like that. All of that because of that. Because of the Amazon forest fire. And then and all this, a bunch of tornadoes that you could, everything gonna get wiped out, alright? The poles, Alaska, having 100 degrees hot, above, or something like that. Like an oven or something, like getting cooked, and I suppose are melting from north and south, Antarctica, all of that is saying why everything is gonna be where we're living on Waterworld. So I'll tell you what you're gonna do is this, to contribute or to send troops to the Amazon forest in parts of Colombia, Bolivia, Brazil, to take out the fire, right? To take out the fire. And then this is one thing I might just say to all of candidates that is going on. Andrew, this is to Andrew. Yes, and I'm not talking about Hurricane Andrew. I'm not talking about Hurricane Andrew. So I'm gonna say, let's do the math. Alright, how many millions of dollars that we have spent on stupid wars, and how many millions of dollars we're gonna do spending on sending troops to Brazil, to Colombia, to Bolivia, to send planes just to take out the fire. The only weapon of choice is, like, we are in a war. The war is gonna be the war against the Amazon forest fire. That's the war. The war against the Amazon forest fire, Andrew, is this. So if we don't win that war, then Dorian or the next hurricane will make Andrew be the laughing stock of hurricanes. It's gonna make Andrew look like a joke, right? So Miami could disappear, Puerto Rico could disappear. That would be the only war that we do, sending troops to South America on a plane, fighting a war against the Amazon forest fire. And we take out the fire, we save this country from the worst natural disasters in history, and prevent the next hurricane to turn Hurricane Andrew into a joke, or say turn Hurricane Andrew into a laughing stock, right? So that is to Andrew, but then I'm talking about Andrew Yang, right? Andrew Yang, that's what I'm talking about. Andrew Yang. I mean, I'm willing that you could do one thing if we are going to war. Which war I'm talking about? War against the Amazon forest fire. That's the war that America needs to fight. More important than any war, that what it is to save this country from natural disasters. Going to South America to fight the Amazon forest fires, all we need to do is airplanes with water bombs, huge water bombs, or a big airplane with, or probably send drones to toss some water at the Amazon forest. You know, save the forest, and that we could prevent these disasters, like the worst hurricane in history that turns Hurricane Andrew into a joke. That we could prevent the craziness in, you know, the Mississippi tragedy of Christmas Day, right? The Mississippi tragedy of Christmas Eve, of Christmas Mississippi River tragedy. We will prevent that, because that way turning out the forest fire, turning out the fire at the Amazon forest, Mr. Yang, that would be your next mission as president, Mr. Yang. And that's what I'm talking about, that I'm waiting for that time. I am independent, but, you know, I mean, no party affiliate, whatever it is. But that's your job, Mr. Yang, as president, is to send our troops to South America to fight the war against the Amazon forest, because it's gonna be an environmental tragedy, and invest in alternatives like soybean, like soy-based gasoline based out of soy, and you know, algae and all and solar panels and windmills, all these alternatives to prevent these forest fires, especially the Amazon forest fire, because I mean, that is for Mr. Yang, Andrew Yang, and what we need to hear in the news is instead of hearing, because back in 1992, Andrew Yang, what it is, like, we heard about the worst hurricane in Florida's history was Hurricane Andrew, right? Let it be that way. So we're gonna send that. President Andrew Yang has sent U.S. troops at the Amazon forest. They were sending troops to Colombia, to Brazil, to Bolivia, with a huge airplane tossing water and and they take out the fire, and the only weapon would be water. Water is the only weapon that we need. All right, and then even, or they send drones, American drones, to take out the fire at the Amazon forest. That's what we're gonna do. Like they say, we're gonna say Andrew Yang take out took out drones to take out the fire at the Amazon forest. It's proceeding from Brazil, from Colombia, from Bolivia, around the Amazon forest area. That's it. That's what I want to hear. Or instead of like the worst hurricane in history since Hurricane Andrew, like this hurricane, whatever it is, had turned Hurricane Andrew into a laughing stock. That's what I don't want to hear. Alright, so for that, folks, I mean, it's not just in the United States, like having Yang as a president, having him preventing this environmental catastrophe, but we could have all these world leaders around. I mean, all these world leaders around that, like, I mean, the United Nations got to talk about the Amazon forest, the president of Brazil, the president of Bolivia, the president of Colombia, Canada, Japan, Korea, both Koreas, if they, and one day they united, you know, don't argue about those two rocks, Amazon forest. If not, those two rocks are gone. If not, for that, another country that's in tragedy, San Andreas will be gone, or in other words, will become Waterworld, right? All the world, there will be even one country surviving in water to find dry land, right? So, Waterworld, in other words, Waterworld, right? So that would be, the thing is that we have to get together. The whole world needs to get together, alright? That is because this is more important than anything, people. World, this is more important. Please send contributions to Greenpeace or to whichever organization, private or public. So, even governments, doesn't matter if it's the government of Japan, it doesn't matter if it's the United Kingdom, whoever, please send people or troops with airplanes that the only weapons they could use is water. If they could use water or something to take out the fire in the Amazon forest to stop. If not, it's gonna be too late. If not, the whole world is gonna be gone, and people who just want to cheer to see some part of the world goes underwater, the jokes are coming on them, and they'll be underwater also, right? So please help contribute with the Amazon to stop the Amazon forest fire. You know, I will make another video. Hope that Dorian won't be that strong, because if Dorian be that strong, I don't know, wherever I am, I'll be there to say a bunch of stuff about Waterworld and stuff, because I believe that anybody, even Andrew Yang talking about this, the Amazon forest, the Amazon jungle being on fire, I mean, that's your job, Andrew Yang, as president. War against the Amazon forest fire. That's the only war that we need. The weapon that we need is water. That's it. So, please, folks, please hit the bell button and please subscribe to the Embargo Man channel, and see you on the next video on Embargo Man. I will catch up with you guys in whatever the case may be of anything. So please subscribe to this channel, And please, anybody, even the YouTubers, all the famous YouTubers, could be iJustine, could be anybody, could be Ivana Romano. Please support on putting money or investing on private organizations or groups that help prevent the Amazon forest fires. And thank you, Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio. Goodbye, folks.